My name is Mohi, and today, I am here to confess the story I've carried in silence for far too long. I used to sit by the wide bay window of my grand, silent house, a house that echoed not with laughter, but with forgotten conversations and unmet glances. At 40, I carried an elegance most envied, almond eyes with stories untold, and a soft smile that rarely surfaced anymore. 10 years of marriage dimmed my light. My husband, Imran, once my vibrant confidant, became merely a figure cloaked in routine. Long business trips, silent dinners, a bed shared by bodies, but not by souls. Then came Jonathan. He had been our driver for the past 3 years, quiet, observant, steady. At 35, Jonathan possessed an understated charm, broad shoulders, kind eyes that held patience, and words that never overstepped but always saw more than he said. It began innocently. One evening, as I waited for Imran to return from yet another late-night meeting, I asked Jonathan to drive me through the old town, the streets where I grew up before life became gilded cages and polished marble floors. "Do you ever wonder," I asked softly from the back seat, "if some roads take you back to the person you once were?" Jonathan glanced in the rearview mirror, his eyes meeting mine. For the first time in years, I felt seen. "Sometimes," he said, voice gentle, "it's not the road that takes us back, but the company." We drove in silence, but the air between us stirred. Days turned into weeks. Each ride became longer, conversations deeper. I spoke of poetry I used to write, songs I once sang. He listened like no one ever had. One evening, as dusk painted the sky, I confessed, "No one asks me how I am anymore." Jonathan stopped the car quietly by the lakeside. He turned, his voice firm yet tender. "Then let me be the one who does. Tell me." And I did. For hours. Our connection was undeniable, yet unspoken. I would notice how he adjusted the rearview mirror just to see my face. He remembered the smallest details, my favorite flowers, the exact temperature I liked my coffee. One evening, as rain drummed against the car roof, Jonathan broke the line we'd both tiptoed around. "Mohi Baji, does it ever hurt to live unseen?" My breath caught, my eyes glistened. "Every day," I whispered. In the muted light, with the world blurred by rain, Jonathan reached for my hand, strong, warm, sure. I did not pull away, and in that single touch, years of emptiness began to crack. That night, I returned home differently. My heart raced not with guilt, but with the ache of finally being alive again. As I lay in my cold bed beside my absent husband, I stared at the ceiling and smiled. A soft, dangerous smile. It had begun. I suppose I could lie to you now and say I didn't know what I was doing, that I stumbled, that it just happened, but that wouldn't be the truth. The truth is, I wanted to cross the line. I wanted to step beyond the neat, empty world I had built with Imran. I craved not just to be heard, but to be touched, to be wanted, to feel. And Jonathan? He made me feel. It started with simple things, his hand brushing mine as he handed me my coffee, his gaze lingering just a little longer than polite, my voice softening when I called his name. One afternoon, while Imran was away on yet another business trip, I asked Jonathan to take me far, farther than usual. We drove out to the countryside. Golden fields, dusty roads, and skies that stretched endlessly. It felt like another world, one where titles didn't matter, where I wasn't someone's wife, and he wasn't just my driver. We stopped by a small abandoned farmhouse. Quiet, forgotten, untouched by the world that always watched. I stepped out, barefoot on the dry grass, my scarf loosening in the soft wind. And then, I turned to him. "Stay," I whispered. "Just stay here with me." His eyes searched mine, as if asking one last time if I was certain. I was. He stepped closer. His hands, rough from years of work, cupped my face with a tenderness I had long forgotten. When he kissed me, it wasn't reckless. It was careful, reverent, as if he too had been waiting his whole life for someone to see him. That day we didn't speak much. Words weren't needed. Our silences were heavier but warmer. And that night, for the first time in over a decade, I did not sleep alone or unloved. The days that followed were a blur of moments stitched together by stolen glances and quiet meetings. Jonathan would wait just a little longer after dropping me home. I would linger by the window longer than necessary just to catch a glimpse of him leaving. He bought me flowers, not the kind from fancy florists, but wild flowers, the kind I told him once I loved as a girl. He remembered. With him, I rediscovered parts of myself I thought had died long ago. But secrets, they don't stay hidden forever. One evening, as we sat by the lake again, I told him, "I don't know how long we can keep doing this." His jaw clenched. "Then leave it all, Mohi." "Come with me." The words terrified me. Leave everything? The house, the reputation, the life built brick by brick? "I can't," I whispered, tears burning my eyes. "But I can't lose you either." He took my hand and pressed it to his heart. "Then don't lose yourself. As I sit here now, confessing this to you, to all who are listening, I won't pretend I regret it. Gina Ten taught me something no one else could, that a woman is not defined by the walls of her house or the ring on her finger. I don't know what tomorrow holds. Maybe by the time you hear this, everything will have come crashing down. But for once in my life, I chose myself, and that is the story I needed to tell.